Hello, it's a beautiful Tuesday evening and live from the News Hub at Adisawe Kanda. There's this news at 10 on TV3. We're streaming live on Facebook and on 3news.com. You can also hear us on 3FM 92.7. Let's start with today's major news highlights. President Akufo-Addo has reiterated the importance of the Council of State in promoting good governance. At the Council's first formal meeting with the President, he promised to ensure a healthy and constructive working relations between them. And the head of the Ghana Refugee Board, Dr. Kofi Annan, has expressed worry at the lack of support for refugees, especially in the area of employment. He says the rate of the increase in the number of refugees entering Ghana makes it necessary for the skills of refugees to be harnessed to benefit the economy. And fishers from coastal regions of Ghana boo their colleagues who endorse illegality in fishing as the sector minister reached a consensus on the ban on light fishing and other dangerous practices. The attempt by the fishermen from Second D to justify the rationale for illegal fishing was met by angry reactions from other fisher folks who insisted enough of illegality. And there was drama at the airport branch of Vodafone as the private security of the company denied GRA Special Revenue Mobilization Task Force entry into the company's premises. The visit of the task force was to recover a tax debt of 30 million cedis owed by the National Communications Backbone Limited, an affiliate of Vodafone. And the Kotoka International Airport will, from June 21, operationalize its electronic manifest systems for automated border control, which will reduce time in passenger and cargo processing. The electronic migration system would aid in identity management and will facilitate immigration services. Those were our major news highlights. Up next is the big one. Remember, we're live on Facebook as well. Welcome now. West Africa's most wanted kidnapper, the famous Chukwudubem Onwuamadike, also known as Evans, has been identified as holding a Ghanaian passport. The Inspector General of the Nigerian Police Service, Ibrahim Potun Idris, says Ghana and Nigeria must share intelligence on the billionaire kidnapper. Here's a report by Komla Kluchi.
Kidnap. The highest money we collected is from First Act, $1 million. From somebody even in First Act.
For 7 years, he has been on Nigerian police and Interpol wanted list for operating high-level kidnapping. His arrest about a week in Nigeria has sparked reactions from people who he duped following his activities.
And that's a kidnapper that operates along the coastline of West Africa. His family are based in Ghana here. And that's the only kidnapper that kidnapped and he demands ransom in dollars.
Described as a cross-border criminal by the Nigerian Inspector General of Police, together with his accomplices, they are being processed for court. The Nigerian police have paraded him through some major cities where he had properties the police believed were as a result of the kidnapping. Shocking, the Nigerians believe the famous West Africa's most wanted had traces here in Ghana with an operation of a high-level cartel.
And he doesn't release his victim until that money is completed. The money he gives out is completed. I was told that he has his family in Ghana, and he has 2 houses in Ghana. I even have the addresses. I say Nigerian Ghanaian, but he's a Nigerian, but he also has a Ghanaian passport.
The police in Nigeria are heaving a sigh of relief after painstaking investigations led to his arrest. Ghana's police service have served notice of cooperating with their Nigerian counterparts on intelligence, leading to the successful prosecution of the suspect.
We've come to realize that crime has become transnational, and therefore we can only fight this crime through international collaboration. This is exactly what we are doing. It's mentioning certain platforms like the West African Police Chiefs Organization, and then the head of Interpol in Nigeria also did mention a platform called the Interpol Network, the I-24/7. This is a platform that we share information and intelligence. And we're going to use that medium that will enable us, unravel some of the mysteries behind the arrest of this kidnapper in Nigeria.
Komla Kluche, TV3 News, Accra.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Potun Idris, has been speaking to the media on how the Nigerian security officials were able to uncover the syndicate.
Let me say, AKA Evans was arrested 2 weeks ago in Nigeria. And this is a fugitive that we believe was, introduced a different novel idea of this kidnapping. He brought all his family to be based in Ghana, while he stays in Nigeria and be kidnapping people. And when he kidnaps, his price tag are always in dollars. That's why in Nigeria they refer to him as a billionaire kidnapper. He's a billionaire. So far from our own end, we're able to track some of his properties in Lagos. We're able to track some of his gang members in Nigeria. But just like you observed, he may have some gang members in other places. And I think that's why I believe that the information we give our counterparts in Ghana will going to assist us to unravel some of these issues you are discussing. Whether he has a team in Ghana here, whether they've been involved in any kidnapping, or whether they've been involved in, because he indicated that he started with drug trafficking first before he veered into kidnapping. So there are so many things I think we can track on that event. Whatever he does, I think he has met the end of his of whatever he's doing now. He's going to Kula.
Very sarcastic. He's going into the cooler. Well, let's do some analysis on this. Chukwu Emeka is Executive Director of the West African Network for Peace Building. WANEP is joining us on the telephone lines now. Good evening, sir, and thank you. So this must be seen as a success for the Nigerian police service to be able to arrest such an important criminal. What does this bring when it comes to the issue of cross-border crime? I mean, what benefits will his arrest bring? Will it reduce the flow, or you think that this is just a tip of the iceberg?
Well, once there is a security breach, and then the intelligence unit and the police arrest the culprit, the good thing about it is that it not only reduces that particular kind of crime, but it also gives opportunity to review the security architecture. And in this instance, looking at what is happening between Ghana and Nigeria, it will, in fact, in my opinion, improve the kind of intelligence sharing and also the kind of surveillance that is needed at the community level, and also the relationship between the community and the police.
Let's focus a little still more on the issue of cross-border crime. I know that the mere fact that this criminal, this high-profile criminal, has been conducting mainly his criminal activities in Nigeria, and then will be cooling off, hiding, spending his ill-gotten wealth in a neighboring country like Ghana, where we're told that his family reside, where, of course, there's no evidence that he's conducting similar crimes and kidnapping here in Ghana. But does it tell you that our borders, ECOWAS countries, our borders are still so porous, and that perhaps citizens of neighboring countries are taking advantage of the ECOWAS protocol to sneak in and out on the blind side of the security agencies?
Yeah, in fact, I think the borders are actually meant to be porous, because that's exactly what the protocol on free movement and the process of integration is suggesting. It's suggesting that we should dismantle the wall so that people can move from one country to the other within what is termed now as a community. In other words, there is no difference between a Ghanaian and a Nigerian or a Togolese. However, what now we need to do is to use the same approach through which we are doing the integration to approach security, so that the crimes and the criminal elements along the border.
Chukwu, we'll need to get a better understanding of that. I mean, how can we use the porous nature of the borders, which you say that is supposed to be the case under the ECOWAS free movement protocols? How can we use that actually to crack down on crimes of this nature?
Exactly what the two Inspector Generals of Police are talking about. In other words, crime in Nigeria should not just be seen as crime in Nigeria. It should be seen as crime within the community. So in this instance, this particular element, Evans, he does all his activities in Nigeria and feels him and his family should be safe here. So if there are linkages, if there are people who have been involved in the chain of his transaction, including some of the properties he's acquired, the passport they say he has acquired, this helps to trace it, not just within Ghana, but between Ghana and Nigeria. That's exactly what the integration process is.
So that means that you support the idea of sharing intelligence at the high level. The IGP of Ghana and IGP of Nigeria have both been saying the same thing. How effective will this be in terms of bringing down the rates of cross-border crime on the continent? I'm not only talking about Nigeria and Ghana, but across the entire ECOWAS sub-region.
It's going to be very effective. There are a few things that we need to complete that has been started. The first one is the ECOWAS biometric identity card. I think this should have been completed yesterday. The other time to do it is now. If we have the data of all ECOWAS citizens, then we can talk about being in a community. Because somebody cannot come into Ghana and claim to be a Ghanaian citizen when the person knows that on a punch of a data, the person's full detail will be shown. So these data are centralized to the extent that every member of the ECOWAS community can access the same data.
Now, I know that this is really worrying for many Ghanaians and Nigerians alike who are listening to this news breaking. The Nigerian police have been on the hunt for this man for 7 long years. I mean, they didn't get him. 7 years. Does it tell us that the complex nature of kidnapping, or is just, you would say, the Nigerian police not doing enough to track this man?
I think in this present day, we must approach security from a digital perspective. We cannot use an analog system to address digital crimes. So I'm going back to the same thing I said about the centrality of the data of citizens of ECOWAS community. If this guy's data was in the system, if he's entering Ghana, the Ghanaian citizen, the Ghanaian intelligence unit will know that he's under a wanted list in Nigeria. But there was no such intelligence sharing. There was no such centrality of the data. So he commits the crime in Nigeria, and he feels that Ghana is safe for him and his family.
Now, there's also the worry that when the Nigerian police arrested this gentleman, they actually paraded him on the streets of Nigeria. There are questions on whether this strategy is effective, especially if he has a network working with him, or there are other syndicates of you know, like operations within the country and the sub-region. Wouldn't this be giving them a clue or hint to perhaps go underground with their activities whilst the police was parading him?
Well, I don't think that they did the parading immediately. So he has been on the Nigeria list for a very long time. And I think that the arrest and the period of the parading took a period of time. Don't forget that they have not only arrested him, they've also arrested key members of his gang. In fact, at the moment, they cannot effectively say that anybody is missing out of all the people that are working with him. Both those that are arrested and himself confirm that they have everybody in the net. So I think that sometimes it's difficult for us to understand the philosophy and the reasoning behind what the security operatives are doing. And if we analyze it from our point of view, we might definitely get it wrong.
I know that you, although you speak for WANEP, you as a Nigerian citizen must be worried. Would you know whether, for example, people this gentleman has kidnapped or his gang has kidnapped, would you know whether any of these people have been able to be freed or as a result of his arrest?
It's not clear to me whether actually he has ever or he has killed any of his victims. What I know for sure, according to his statements and also according to the intelligence unit, is that he can keep you as long as 6 months. So long as he is sure that you have the resources he's asking for, and so long as you have not given him exactly what he's asking for, he can keep you for as long as 6 months, some 3 months, some 2 months.
Interesting. I know kidnapping has been an issue we hear about in places like Somalia, and it's making rounds in the news on the deep oceans and all of that. But how serious is the crime of kidnapping in the sub-region, starting from Nigeria?
It's very serious. The first thing is that in most instances, there are 3 reasons why people kidnap. The first one is the ransom, which is paid to the kingpins. And in this instance, it's on the increase because robbery is becoming not effective, especially with the introduction of electronic banking and e-payments. It's becoming very unfashionable and not lucrative for the criminals. So the next thing that can bring in money is this issue of kidnapping. The second thing is that people also kidnap to use those people as a bargaining chip. So people can kidnap others and use them to bargain for a particular favor. And of course, the last one being as shield. If, like terrorists, can kidnap people to use them as shield to ensure that they evade being shot by the police or the security operatives.
Right, Chukwu Emeka Eze, we're grateful for your time. Thank you very much. Chukwu Emeka Eze is Executive Director of the West African Network for Peace Building, WANEP. This is News at 10. We have more news for you. Please stay.
Food supplement.
Madam, I want Prosecure Herbal Tea. What is this? I said I want Prosecure Herbal Tea, not capsule.
This also be for urinary problem. Okay, please don't go. I have some. To improve urine flow in man.
Do not let anyone deceive you. There's nothing like Prosecure capsule. It is Prosecure Herbal Tea. Just boil it and drink it. That's all.
Prostacure from Medimosis Prostate Center is a well-formulated food supplement acclaimed worldwide to improve urine flow. Now available at all pharmacies, filling station shops and shopping centers nationwide. Contact the Tema, Accra and Kumasi branches with the numbers on your screen. Visit our new ultra-modern diagnostic center at Twazako Valley opposite the Westgate.
Prostacure food supplement improves urine flow in men.
I just got an HD combo decoder from StarTimes.
Cool! StarTimes HD combo decoder.
StarTimes is giving away free decoders to all new subscribers. Simply prepay 2-month Super Bouquet subscription and get an HD combo decoder for free. Get yours now at all StarTimes dealer shops and enjoy the best entertainment from over 100 international and local channels. StarTimes, change your
Welcome back. This is still news at 10. We're live on 3FM 92.7 as well as streaming on the internet and 3news.com. Let's do some more stories now. A 56-year-old fisherman on board a boat named Adum No. 5 is reported missing Tuesday morning when a boat carrying about 10 fisher folks capsized at Ankobra. The 10 were returning from fishing expedition when the accident occurred. 9 of the occupants, including 3 teenagers, were reportedly rescued. 2 of the victims are currently on admission at Axim Government Hospital. The Elembele police has begun investigations into the cause of the accident. We're quickly going to the telephone lines now, joined by the morning show host of Ankobra FM, Michael Adumako, to give us an update on the incident. Good evening, sir, and thank you. We're grateful that you could join us. So confirm to us the boat accident and what the current status of those on board is.
Thank you so much, my brother. This morning around 6:30 that we had information that a canoe that carried 10 passengers, or let's say 10 fishermen, they went for fishing in the evening yesterday around 6. They were supposed to return today, but when it comes to Axim, on Tuesdays, it's a taboo. They've made an arrangement that fisher folks should not go for fishing on Tuesdays. And so they were supposed to go and land at Ankobra, a nearby community. And according to an eyewitness who was there early in the morning this morning, she says that she saw the canoe capsizing around 6:30. So when we rushed there in the morning, the rescue team, that is the fisher folks, were able to rescue 9 people. As I speak with you, one has not been found. A 56-year-old man, Mr. Ampofi Tewia, has not been found now. The leaders in the communities have been able to perform all rituals that they believe it could bring the body out. As we speak now, it has not been found.
So what? Does it mean that the search for this man is still ongoing, or the search team or search party has abandoned the search?
My brother, they are still searching for this man. He has not been found as I speak to you now.
And so that's it? I mean, there is no search party for him?
There is a search party. As I mentioned earlier on, the fisher folks they have been going up and down at the sea, trying to see if they can find the body. And then also, the police together with the fisher folks has been moving around. And they believe that maybe the body, the man is dead now. So what they are doing is that they are trying to see if they can perform. They have already even performed a ritual to see if they can see or found the body elsewhere.
So this actually means that they have concluded that there is a high likelihood that the 56-year-old man has drowned. Okay. We've lost Michael Adumako on the telephone lines, but he was giving us update on fishing accident in the Axim area. Let's still stay with fisher folks. Fishers from the coastal regions of Ghana booed at their colleagues who endorse illegality in fishing as the sector minister reached a consensus on the ban on light fishing and other dangerous practices. The attempt by the fishermen from Sekondi to justify the rationale for illegal fishing was met by angry reactions from other fisher folks who insisted enough of illegalities. Here is a report by my colleague Peter Kwao Adato.
It was a peaceful deliberation as stakeholders assembled at the Nat Hall to find a lasting solution to disturbing illegal fishing in Ghana's waters. The Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development set the tone, drawing attention to why the need to end illegalities.
The continuous reckless exploitation and depletion of our fisheries resources in Ghana, if not halted, will lead to the total collapse of our fishery, and the economic, social, nutritional, and food security consequences will be enormous for the nation to accommodate. It is against this background that it is imperative for all of us to act now.
The fisher folk were then given the opportunity to speak their minds on how to deal with the menace. Beginning from the Greater Accra regions, the fishers were invited on regional basis to air their views. But the stance of the chairman for the Sekondi Inshore Fishers Association, Francis Kwesi, muddied the waters. His attempt to justify the illegal methods in the fishing industry attracted sharp protests from other stakeholders in the hall. Francis Kwesi's refusal to back down led to a prolonged booing and hooting to force him to leave the stage. In the end, sanity prevailed and a consensus was reached to end forthwith all manner of illegal fishing practices in Ghana's territorial waters. The paramount chief of Elmina traditional area, Nana Kojo Dumasa, warned against politicization.
Politicization of everything in this country continues to draw us back. We want everyone to see the call as a national one and embrace it wholeheartedly. It is for our own good and the future of our children.
The meeting was attended by representatives from all the coastal regions, Volta, Greater Accra, Central and Western regions.
And former President John Agyekum Kufuor has called on the centre-right leaders to develop the private sector to create jobs for the youth. Addressing executives of the International Democratic Union, IDU, he explained the increasing rate of educated unemployed persons is a threat to international security.
The International Democratic Union is a worldwide organization of conservative political parties. It is a working association of over 80 like-minded political parties of center and center-right from all continents, of which the New Patriotic Party has been a member for over 10 years. Executives of the IDU paid a courtesy call on former President John Agyekum Kufuor for inspiring and helping in economic growth based on individual initiative. Former President John Agyekum Kufuor underscored the need for center-right leaders to support capitalism, which he said will help reduce unemployment, which is a threat to security.
Even as we are looking at security, we should also be looking at how we partner the private sector to continue to create the wealth that would inspire hope in the teeming youth into the future. And then, of course, constitutionalism should also be always there, because populism, good economy, right constitutions acknowledging the right of the human individual without discrimination and that sort of thing. When we can get these things under our belt, then IDU will become the union of the world.
Leader of the delegation, Tony Clement, who is also an MP in Germany, lauded former President Kufuor and the NPP for recognizing the ideals of liberal democracy, freedom of individual and enterprise, and for championing the need for economic growth based on individual initiative, free and competitive economy.
We can continue to learn from your example, who seeks to connect the economic policies with the essence of why we pursue those. We don't pursue those as accountants. We don't pursue those as money counters. We pursue them because we want freedom. That is part of the human soul. And that is, I want you to know, that continues to inspire all of us in the conservative movement throughout the entire world.
The union is meeting in Accra and for the first time in Africa. The 3-day conference is focused on international security and populism to inspire hope in the youth.
And that's it for News at 10. Thanks for making time. I'm Stephen Anti, and enjoy the rest of our program. So on behalf of the crew, good night.